Can't force people to break behind you, and so now Van der Zande goes as he heads up towards the Como curve. Calvin van der Linde tries to stay with him, but the gap extends ever so slightly. This crucial for the race win for Renger van der Zande as he blasts out of the line Dyke curve over the timing line. It was half a second. Let's see what the gap is as we go racing. Time for 2 laps down towards Tarzan. 0.6 of a second between them. Third is Kirchhofer. And there, Ludwig to the inside of Philippeng. He barges his way up the inside, elbows out, he's coming through. Luca Ludwig charges up the inside of Philippeng, place gained. Great stuff, absolute commitment by Luca Ludwig. He knew he had one shot at that. Eng defended, Ludwig kept on coming. It was a little bit bold, but it has worked for him. There was certainly contact between them as Eng tried to close the door, but Ludwig kept on coming. Take the place, argue about it afterwards. So he's gone through. Luca Ludwig is now 5th. Eng was thinking about looking for a way past Mucke, but it was Ludwig that took full advantage of all of that as the cars then come through the Slotermacher curve out of Hunsrück. Look at all the rubber being junked by the side of the road. Up front then, in the first sector, Van der Zande was getting away slightly from Calvin van der Linde, who's running out of options now. Kirchhofer third, dropping back, and has Eng got any damage? The BMW dropping into the clutches now of Christian Engelhardt's Lamborghini, the former Porsche racer. Engelhardt now closing up onto the back of Philippeng for 6th place, as there through on the inside line goes Nikolai Silvestre, putting himself up past Maximilian Hecklander. Gertz makes a move now up against number 1. Christopher Mies hangs on to that place, but Maxi Gertz has already relieved Niederhauser of 1 spot and wants to try and gain another one and get into the top 10 if he can. They're going to start the last lap of the time, this lap through, but of course there's the regulation lap at the end. It's time plus 1. So there is this that they're starting, and then the regulation lap on top of it. Down towards Tarzan they go. 0.6 of a second between the leaders, and Ludwig is good for another place before the end. He's right on the back of Stefan Mucke now. Lower back, a challenge look there. Sven Muller coming under attack because right behind him is Frank Stippler in the Mucke Audi. Takes some saying that after all these years of Mucke Mercedes. But Frank Stippler, lights flashing, is right there looking for a way by. Jules Gounon doesn't know where to look because with 2 laps, this and 1 more, it's nervous times. A second win beckons, more points in the championship beckon as well. But with everybody having bunched up, there's a good Porsche fight now. Alex McDowell ahead of Sven Muller for 13th and 14th places, points in the top 10. Van der Linde having a look to the inside line to try to unsettle the Corvette, can't find a way by. So Marcus Pommer, was a winner here in Formula 3, handing the car over to Calvin van der Linde, and now that closing onto the tail of the Corvette. There is Marcus Pommer looking on. In the FIA Formula 3 European Championship, he was victorious. Jules Gounon's got everything crossed. There's nothing more he can do. He forces a smile, but in fairness, Renger van der Zande is doing everything right. He's not making mistakes. He's not let the Audi get too close. And of course, on the big power parts of the circuit, the Corvette's got the advantage, and here is another of them on the way up towards the timing line. Through they come then now. The clock has hit 0. The regulation lap then is about to be started. Go, go, go. Jules Gounon urging on. Renger van der Zande, we're on the final lap. The gap comes down into the Tarzan hairpin. The Corvette looks like it's going to hang on for a 2nd win, but it'll be a 7th different winning combination of drivers of the year. But Calvin van der Linde, the 2014 champion, has not given up yet. He could not be closer. Look at Hugenholtz. Can he find a way up alongside the vet? Stab on the brakes there, coming out of the corner to try to unsettle the Audi driver behind. And now, of course, heading through Hunsrück, the power of the Corvette should tell. The gap widens. It's rather elasticated. You've got the nimble Audi chasing the big grunty Chevrolet Corvette up the road. Van der Linde has to hustle his way here through Schijflach and down towards the Masters curve once again. He brakes late. Gets a good run down now towards turn 9, but he's not near enough to try that move to unsettle the Corvette driver on the inside. So Van der Zande is hanging on to it. And again, you see there's another straight coming up now. So the grunt and go Corvette ought to be able to power clear, leaving Pommer to brake late. And then there's another straight at the end of that next sequence. So the Chevrolet is in the box seat here. And of course, Calvin van der Linde doesn't want to try anything risky and go off and affect points for either driver. Crashes over the curb through the Hans Ernst curve. Our 7th different winning combination of the year beckons because we've got 2 corners to go, and Renger van der Zande Guesting for Callaway competition in the Chevrolet is about to come out of the Arie-Luijendijk curve and head up towards the checkered flag at the end of another enthralling ADAC GT Masters contest. The Chevrolet wins at Zandvoort. Renger van der Zande and Jules Gounon win. Calvin van der Linde and Marcus Pommer take second, and third goes the way of Marvin Kirchhofer and Indy Donja. Their best result of the year, the best also for van der Linde and Pommer. And look at this queue of cars coming over the line, dead heating virtually lower down the order. 10th goes the way of Christopher Zanella ahead of Niederhauser. Mies drops to 12th. McDowell drops to 13th. And in all of that, Sven Muller ends up 19th. He got mugged towards the end. An enthralling race and a win for Renger van der Zande along with Jules Gounon. Now, how did people start losing places? Muller was trying to go around the outside of Mies and ran out of road. That was all self-induced because at the same time, Mies was being attacked by Patrick Niederhauser on the inside at the Hansens curve, and Sven Muller off the road, rally crosses his way back onto the circuit. Here it is from his point of view. He braked as late as he dares. He found the two cars ahead. Had to kind of go straight on, really, rather than clout the back of the cars ahead of him, through the gravel, back onto the circuit. A long time ago, Porsche had a good rally pedigree and rally cross pedigree as well, and Sven Muller and Robert Renau before him throwing everything at that race, on and off the track. Of course, their undoing was qualifying. Renau in the gravel, so it left them with a lot of work to do. So 19th in the end. You look at the grid, you think not much progress was made, but early on it was by certainly Sven Muller. But Renger van der Zande, he's the kind of guest you might invite more often, isn't it? So he's been a mainstay of Mercedes programmes for a while, but now coming into the Corvette for this weekend as a guest and doing a great job and bringing, of course, Dutch attention to the weekend and a Dutch winner